Hi, it's John Pierce here. I'm one of the tutors in EAD 111 and I'm going to very quickly run through a little bit about how to get started with Blackboard Collaborate. Now, in certain cases, we may email you a link to the various Blackboard Collaborate rooms that you're working in. In other cases, you may wish to go to find the room itself. The rooms are listed in the resources section at the very bottom of the links there. You'll find one that says Blackboard Collaborate. If you click on that one, you'll have to then scroll back up to the top and open up the BB Collaborate Ultra link, which will then open up a range of various rooms. Now you may then scroll to the room that you are allocated to, and notice that in this particular case all of the rooms are grayed out. They're not yet available. There is one room, however, that I'm going to enter, and I'll show you what exactly happens when you do enter a room so that you'll know what's going on. To do that, you click on the link. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to join a class, the course room. When I do that, this is what happens. First off, it tells me that I'm joining as the name that's given there, and then it runs through a range of different options that will work to set up your space in the room. You have to allow the microphone. You could be using your microphone or you could be using a microphone that's attached. I'm using this microphone that's built into my computer. That works reasonably well, and then I need to allow that to do so. Once I've done that, you may also have to allow your camera, and if that comes up because I've been in there before, it's going to allow me to come in with it. So once I'm in the room, this is what it all looks like. Nothing much to see there at all, except down the bottom here we've got some icons. When you enter the room, it will automatically be muted often. To share your audio, you click on the microphone and you can see the little thing goes green and the flashing thing indicates that you're talking. If it doesn't indicate that, then you have a problem. Now, in most cases, when you're in the room, we'll ask you to have your microphone muted unless we particularly want you to talk. That then helps if there's any stray noises such as dogs barking, babies walking in, or other things happening. We don't need to pick those up. It can also cut down on a whole lot of feedback. You'll notice that the next one there, I'm just going to turn that off there for a moment. You'll notice the next one is the icon that allows you to share your video. Now, in lots of cases, we're going to ask you not to share your video unless we particularly want you to. Video takes up a lot of bandwidth and it can slow things down, and then the whole room can come crashing down, and that's no good to us at all. So we're going to generally ask you to leave that off. Notice also there's an option there to raise your hand. Raising your hand gives you a chance to indicate that you want to say something. Now, on the side down in the right hand bottom corner, you'll notice there's a little double-headed arrow inside a purple thing. This is the space that you're going to do lots of work in, and that. The first one there, it indicates, is the chat window. So you can, when you come in, you might like to just say hi to everyone and click on that just to introduce yourself. Most of the stuff that we're going to be doing is done through that chat window, and you need to keep an eye on the chat window and everything else. I'll just close that thing there to see what's going on. Or your tutors will try and keep an eye on that as much as they possibly can too. Notice next to that then is a list of the attendees. At the moment there's only one person in there, that's me. If I had a lot of people in there, that they would show up down there. You can will also see down the side there a range of options that are telling us what's going on, so we can do various things. But in most cases, you're not going to be working with that. I, as a moderator, can share various things. One of those things that I can share is a blank whiteboard, which looks just like this. Now, if we do share a blank whiteboard with you, first temptation for everyone is to click on the pencil and to start drawing, and we end up with lots of lines and so forth, and it's a load of fun, but let's get over it because it's not what we're here for. So I'm going to clear that off. We can, however, put some text in there. And you notice it also, it doesn't fix up spelling, so sometimes we might need to move that. So we can ask some questions in there and so forth, and you might put in some responses and so forth. So the whiteboard is a reasonably interesting tool that we might call on at various times. I can also share my screen with you and some other applications. In most cases though, what I'm going to be ending up doing with my group anyway is I might share links in the chat room that will be put into there, and they will come up, and then you click on those links and we'll watch them offline, because sharing them again through Blackboard Collaborate often slows things down and things go wrong. We might at various times put up some polls and ask questions. And such as a yes no one here, so then yes, we can answer the questions and we can pull that away and then we can look at it again, or we may have some polls that are more multiple choice. And so forth, and that will come up and start that new poll, and there we go. So I'm in my office, so I'll click on that and so on. At various times too, we may put you into breakout groups. Breakout groups are sort of subgroups within the room. It's like if we asked you all to move across to one side and the room and do some talking and then come back together in the main group, and that. That's often a lot of fun, but it also means that we can't see or hear what's going on. There are a couple of other things that need to be said too, and that is that most times we're going to be recording these sessions, and that records the chat as well. So if you are tempted to overload the thing with emojis and whatever, and do all of that sort of stuff, or put stuff that's inappropriate, or what the things that you shouldn't be saying, just be careful and judicious, and don't embarrass yourself. Now there are one or two other little options that are available. If we need to get rid of the chat window at any time, we just close that there by clicking that. In your status down the bottom here is where you can leave the session. Leaving the session means that you close down all of the whole window, and we'll do that in a moment. But if you need to go to the toilet, say, you need to go and get a drink, or somebody's called you on your phone and you need to do that and you don't want to embarrass yourself, you can click on the away button there, and that will take you away. When you're back, you click back in and you're back in again and you're working, and that. The feedback things, don't bother too much about those, and so on. But basically, that's how we work and run within the session. So now I'm going to leave that session and leave you. When you do that, it gives you this option. Most times you just skip that and it's finished. So there you are, a very, very quick overview, and I hope this video helps.